Oh, this is the perfect verse right here.
Keep fighting. As a man, our sun is our horizon.
Yep.
And our father's actions play a role, and we end up like
Yep. Hey there, it's Tom Stevens, your resident psychotherapist, here to break down lyrics to some awesome music from DAX. A brand new song, To Be a Man, has come out. You know our purpose, spread mental health awareness to the world through music and lyrics. Let's do it without further ado. I can't wait. It's time for some DAX. To Be a Man. DAX.
I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain.
Another serious one from DAX. Singing. I love this. He does the best videos. I love his videos, and I love the storyline behind it, especially talking about being a man. You know, I talk about that a lot on this channel, but being a man and doing what you need to do, but I don't know where he's going with it. So that last song, didn't he have a, I can't find myself. This is Hide Myself. You ever feel that? I can't hide, especially as a man, I can't hide myself. Like I am out in the open, exposed, and there's nothing I can do. Come on, Dax.
I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. Yeah, I know this life can really beat you down. You wanna scream, but you won't make a sound. Got so much weight that you've been holding, but won't show any emotion. As a man that goes unspoken, now
He's speaking all the facts. You know, this is life inside my office as a therapist. So many men that I work with that can't be vulnerable. They can't be open and honest. They have to close everything up. Number one, you've been taught that a lot of times in life, just growing up as a man. This is what you're supposed to be if you're a man. Number two, that whenever you show vulnerability, it exposes weakness to the world, and they see you as not capable of handling situations, which is BS. It's not true. And number three, that he's telling the story of what's going on inside, while the picture on the outside, we try to show something different. My whole goal in therapy with people, with men, is to get them to match the inside and the outside. And you can do that, but not without help. So you have to have help to do that. You can't just all of a sudden say, I'm going to be vulnerable, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be strong, I'm going to be capable, I'm going to be confident. You're going to put them all together. It's going to be great. You can't just do that, because so much of who you are comes from what you've been taught growing up as a man. And I think it's hard for women sometimes to see that, wait a minute, you want a strong man, but you want a vulnerable man. So which is it? Because you can't pick and choose all the time. And if somebody's vulnerable, if a man is vulnerable, you have to be willing to accept that, hear it, see it, and live with it. But a lot of times there's mixed messages. That's why when I work with couples, it creates a lot of controversy. He's really saying some good stuff here.
Wanna scream, but you won't make a sound. Got so much weight that you've been holding, but won't show any emotion. As a man that goes unspoken, now we can't cry when life gets hard. Unconditional loves for women, children, and dogs. We know that we just have to play our parts, and don't nobody give a damn about our broken hearts. Yeah, as a man we gotta pave our way. Our only function is to work and slave. There's no respect for you if you ain't paid. You're disregarded as a human, and you can't complain. And if you ever...
There's a lot packed into this, and I could see how some people might have a little bit of an issue with it, because it's painting things very one-sided. Like, this is brutal, this is hard, there's a lot of weight, we're just there to provide, nobody really cares about us, have to suck it up, we've just got to find our way. And I think too many men try to pave their own way. Too many men don't come together, you know, find unity with other men, find friendship and bonding, and find a way to be open, honest, vulnerable, but also strong, confident, and capable. So a lot of men are solo. They're individual. They just suck it up, pull up your bootstraps, stiff upper lip, just handle it. And that's fine if you want to live that way. But I'm telling you, the part where I would disagree with DAX, not in what he's saying, because it is true. This is how men feel so much of the time, is I would say there is a way to deal with it. I don't know if he's going to get to that in this song, but there is a way to handle your life, to adjust your life, to adapt your life so that you say, you know what? I'm no longer just going to live as a slave here to whoever I'm supposed to be. I'm going to actually become a different person. That's the self-realization of who you want to be in life. What kind of man do you want to be? What kind of husband you want to be? What kind of father you want to be? What kind of friend do you want to be? And start learning how to live that life. But it comes with help. It comes with therapy. But boy, this is exactly how so many men feel inside.
You're disregarded as a human and you can't complain. And if you ever make it up and actually reach that place and find a woman that you love and give her your last name, you'll feel the things that you provide is only why she stays. And when you try to explain, you'll say, I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home.
Remember, this is what's going on inside a man. And that last line, going back a little earlier where he said, you'll feel the things that you provide is only why she stays. And when you try to explain, you'll say, I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. So those two lines, you'll feel the things that you provide only is the only reason why she stays. But when I try to explain it to you, you're not going to get it. You'll feel, that's the key there. You feel like this is the only reason you're there. Now, this goes to men's self-worth. I'm getting a little psychological with you here. But in therapy, this goes to men's self-worth. Like, how do you feel about yourself? Because if your worth comes from the woman that you're with, if your worth comes, like for me, through my wife, Jill, then I'm going to be looking day by day at whether I'm a good person or not, whether I'm a good provider, whether I'm a good husband, whether I'm loving, whether I'm caring, whether I'm strong. It's all going to come from her. You have to have your own self-worth. You have to know who you are. And so much of the time, boys grow up into men with the understanding, being taught and modeled, you are only as good as what you produce. You're only as good as what you provide, not how you care for, not the attention you give, not the vulnerability and the sharing that you have, not who you are as a person inside. And so men end up growing up feeling labeled a lot of times as, I'm only worth what I do. I'm only worth what I give. And that's just, it's a very sad way many times to live life, because your self-worth is going to come through who you're with and whether they actually approve of who you are. That's why jobs and making money is so valuable for men, because it's transactional. It's something they can do to get paid for, and that gives them value. That shows what they're worth, especially when you make more and more and more, because it means your value is getting higher and higher. It's not true. That's just what your skill is. You want a relationship that's transformational, not transactional. So when a relationship is transformational, this is good for women too, to understand men's brains. When you get a relationship that's transformational, that means you matter to me more than what you bring. Children will tell you that in divorced homes. I didn't want you to get more from me, Dad. I didn't want you to provide more. I didn't want to have more. I just wanted you. I just wanted a family. I just wanted us together. Transformational is the key. Relationships that go to a higher level, not transactional, where I get paid, I make money, therefore that's what I'm worth. That's going to fail you every time.
Care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. Don't give up, keep fighting. As a man, our sun is our horizon. And our father's actions play a role, and we end up like them.
Yep.
So they can't let us see them.
Here he goes. I love this. He's going to the point that I was talking about, where from a very young age, we are shown, not just told, but shown who we're going to be as men. And when you don't have a father in your home, or you have a broken home where the father is not there, or even if you have a father that's there but emotionally detached, unavailable, you are going to see that will impact and affect who you become. Therefore, in therapy, it's very easy to talk about, because so many men don't go to therapy, right? Because that's weakness. No, it's strength. I'll tell you, it's strength. And the men that come in and do the work they need to do in therapy become stronger, more capable, confident, and self-secure the rest of their lives. But this is telling the story of like, look, listen, dads, listen, husbands. This is what I would say. Whether you're a husband, father, in a relationship, you have an impact on children that are growing up. You ever have children, you have an impact on them, girls and boys, but especially the boys, you have an impact on who they're going to become. They're watching you to see how to treat a woman. They're watching you to see how to show vulnerability. They're watching you to see how to handle and juggle 10 balls at a time that it seems impossible to do. They're watching how you handle adversity. So it's really key to get that point that children, especially boys, are watching their dads to see how they handle. I've lived my life trying to say, I want my boys to see the marriage that I want them to have. I'm going to reveal, I'm going to live myself with Jill. I want them to see how a husband needs to be, not just tell them how a husband needs to be. Oh, this is the perfect verse right here.
Keep fighting. As a man, our sun is our horizon.
Yep.
And our father's actions play a role, and we end up like them.
Yep.
So they can't let us see them hurt, because we'll embody what they do and start a generational curse. No wonder most men are so depressed. All the things that they can't express. They go to war, get thrown on the shelf, then go back to war with their mental health. Then grab that bottle and ask for help. Try to pull themselves out of hell, then fall back down and then realize that they're gonna have to do it themselves. It's the circle of life. As a man, you provide. They don't know what you're worth till the day that you die. And that's when they start crying. Then move on to a man to confide in. That's why we feel we can't hide ourselves.
You know, I think of my father, and 83 years old now, and the couple of biggest things he provided to me was, number one, a tender heart, just loving people. And I've seen so many people who love him, who appreciate him. He was a teacher at one point in his life, and he's done so much to love other people, to be there for other people. And number two is the inspiration to me to be everything that I could be, to go out there and be and do. And he wanted me to have a better life. He wanted me to have a chance that he didn't have growing up so poor. And he wanted me to have hope and possibility, which he gave to me through that. That's the vulnerability piece, because no parent's perfect. But I'll tell you, as a man to a boy, it takes somebody who can show a tender heart, because what men so often do, he's mentioning it here, go to the bottle. Well, you go to any coping skill. It can be a bottle, it can be drugs, it can be work, it can be an affair, it can be, your phone and just getting lost and not being available, because so many fathers don't know how to show up. They don't know how to actually have a relationship with their sons to show them this is how we talk about reality. I spent time with my boys all growing up, trying to tell them about my feelings, about my struggles in life, age appropriate, but just telling them about how some things are hard, some things are great, my victories, my defeats, my struggles, in an age appropriate way, so they can see, oh, wow, this is how you communicate. This is how you share feelings. And men bonding with men is huge, but so many of them don't do it. They do not find a way to vent out, whether in a friendship or in a group with men or in an activity with men. We bond over, sports, or we bond over watching a game, or we bond over, building something, but not in communication and connection. I just feel like they have to go it alone, just struggling through life, and you don't have to. This is a great verse.
Life as a man, you provide. They don't know what you're worth till the day that you die, and that's when they start crying. Then move on to a man to confide in. That's why we feel we can't hide ourselves. We don't expect you to understand. We just hope we can explain what it's like to be your man. It's a lonely road.
These are all feelings inside, remember. They're not reality. People do care. Your children care. Your wife cares. Like in my life, I'll tell you that so many times in relationship that happens. And you don't want them to find out your worth on the day that you die. Like now he's gone. And you want to talk about that. You want to share life with other men, with your children, especially with your sons, but even your daughters, to be able to reveal to them, this is vulnerability. And when you go into therapy, at least with me, and you say, I don't know if I'm being the husband I need to be, or I don't know if I'm being the father I need to be, which hardly ever happens because men don't go into therapy as much. It's a victory for me because it's a chance to say, well, let's look at where you came from. And that's going to typically say how you're going to parent or you're going to husband. And let's look at what you're scared of. Let's look at what your vulnerabilities are and your insecurities are. And let's talk about those. And that relationship between me and that guy then translates to him and his wife at home or him and his children at home. It's beautiful. It's a great thing to do. But Dax is, I feel like saying throughout this whole song, we feel this way inside, therefore we act. We feel this way about ourselves, so poorly about ourselves. It's such a struggle that we just suck it up, close it up. Therefore, we just act like everything's fine. We move on. But we internally struggle the whole way and feel like a failure or feel not good enough or feel taken advantage of or feel like nobody understands. And that's the circle of life he's talking about.
It's a lonely road, and you don't care about what we know. It's not about how we feel, but what we provide inside that home. Inside that home. It's not about how we feel, but what we provide inside that home. Inside that home.
Wow. That was a pretty cool sign of the cross there, looking up at the sky at God, saying, I need you, God. I need you. I need you to help. Dax, to be a man. Your children need you, men. Your wives need you, men. And other guys need you, men. They need you. It's time to get out of your comfort zone. It's time to reach out. And I create a lot of waves with stuff like that of just saying, suck it up, because I'm not your typical guy, right? But one thing I know for sure is inside my own home is where I want to find peace and happiness, not discomfort, not insecurity, not stress, not anxiety. I want that to be my resting place with my wife and with my children, to have them know that I love them. I'm imperfect. I do the best that I can, but I am constantly seeking relationship with them, and to have my wife know that there's nobody else I'd rather spend a spare minute with than her. So men, please hear that you don't have to stay inside that bubble of fear and worry and anger and hurt. It's all mixed, right? Fear and hurt and anger and struggle and stress, they all just a mixed bag of emotions that will only make you retreat and isolate more. So get out, that's what therapy's for. That's what support groups are for. That's what guys groups are for. That's what retreats are for with men. That's what friendships are for. That's what date nights are for with your children, to show them who you are, not to be transactional, but to be transformational. Such good stuff. Love hearing him sing and spill the truth about men. So good. Remember, it's in Real Therapy, though. It's just Tom breaking down lyrics to music. Leave us your comments. Let us know what you think. There are links if you want to get help in the description of this video. And look, if this is nothing more mental health than this, Dax, to be a man. Spread mental health awareness to the world, and we'll see you on the next Reaction Therapy.